News at 10. There is no security vote in Kaduna State other than the security budget that we published. And that's the response of the Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to the House of Representatives' comments that the security budget statement released by the Kaduna State Governor was misleading. In an exclusive interview on our program Hard Copy, Governor El-Rufai accused Speaker Dogara of trying to divert attention when the Speaker challenged him to expand his advocacy for transparency beyond the National Assembly.
For the Speaker to say I should champion transparency of state budgets, again, is another cop-out. If state government budgets are not transparent, it is the job of the state houses of assembly to ensure that they are. It is not for me as governor, one governor out of 36, and we're all equal, for me to champion anything. I think what the National Assembly should do is to set a gold standard of transparency by opening up their budgets. Then they can speak to other arms of government. Then they can speak to other tiers of government to be transparent. But two wrongs don't make a right, okay? But let me come back to our response. The response of the Kaduna State government is, this is our security budget. This is how we spend it. This is the breakdown. This has been going on since 2015 when we took over and is audited. National Assembly or House of Reps responded. Security vote.
They said that's
not misleading. It's because they think that we run our own budgets the way they run their budgets. Totally lacking in transparency. There is no security vote in Kaduna State other than the security budget that we published.
For the rest of the interview, do watch Hard Copy tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on all our platforms. It's 8:30 p.m. on all our platforms for the rest of the interview on the program Hard Copy. The Independent National Electoral Commission has asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to prosecute any member of staff found to have committed any offence related to its mandate. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, made this remark during a meeting with the EFCC chairman Ibrahim Magu at the Anti-Corruption Agency's headquarters in Abuja. He said it took the electoral body about 4 months to thoroughly investigate all the allegations against the 202 INEC officials contained in the interim report it received from the Anti-Graft Agency before a final decision could be reached. Responding, Mr. Magu said the EFCC regards corruption as a crime against humanity and praised the INEC chairman for cooperating with the Anti-Corruption Agency in the cases involving the INEC staff. The President has approved the appointments of new chief executives and directors of more federal government agencies. Now, a statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation says President Muhammadu Buhari today approved appointments in 23 federal agencies. They include the Bureau for Public Enterprises, with Mr. Alex Oko as the new Director General, the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, with Abdul Kadir Umar as the Executive Secretary, while Diku Aliu Abdul Rahman is the Director General of the National Pension Commission. Others include the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, with Mr. Emmanuel Jime as Managing Director. Mrs. Julie Oka Donley is now the Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, while Mr. Muhammad Bello Tukur was named as the Executive Secretary of the Federal Charter Commission. The statement adds that all appointments take immediate effect, while Mr. Abdul Rahman's appointment as PEN Director General is subject to confirmation by the Senate. The United Kingdom has pledged to help Nigeria achieve the switchover from analog to digital broadcasting. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Paul Arkwright, said this during a courtesy visit to the Minister of Information in Abuja. The meeting also focused on a number of issues, including Nigeria's new visa regime and ease of doing business.
Switchover in Nigeria. This is moving from the TV signal, the analog signal, to the digital signal. There is a British company in view that is working very hard in Nigeria with the Honourable Minister and other ministries here in Nigeria, looking at ways in which, again, British expertise can help in the very important switchover from analog to digital, following very successful launches in Jos and here in Abuja, and I know that there are plans for other regions and other cities to benefit from that, and again that the UK is providing training opportunities, and opportunities to look at things like intellectual property and technical areas, in particular in the film industry. So I think that is something which we are all proud of, and which, as the British High Commissioner here in Nigeria, I want to support and continue to promote. So I shall continue to do that.
Time to take a look at some business now. Here's Anne Wawudu.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria today moved to increase its weekly forex sales of each bureau de change operator from $10,000 to $20,000. The president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators, Aminu Gwadabe, told Channels Television that forex retailers have been asked to fund their accounts with the central bank today and to receive dollars next Tuesday when markets resume after the Easter holiday. 2 weeks ago, the financial regulator reviewed its sale of forex to BDCs from twice weekly to once a week, and then raised its sales amount to each retailer from $8,000 to $10,000. This is the third move this week by the CBN to make the FX market more flexible. There's also been an increase in the limit on banks' foreign currency borrowings to 125% of shareholders' fund. That's after some lenders breached its regulatory limit. This new directive by the CBN replaces a 2014 rule that limits foreign borrowings, including Eurobonds, at 75% of shareholders' funds. It also prescribes that all foreign borrowings to be hedged through the financial markets should have a minimum maturity period of 5 years. In the meantime, all banks have been directed to present a monthly report of their foreign currency borrowings. Interbank lending rates rose sharply today by almost 100% as commercial banks and commercial lenders struggled for cash to pay for bond purchases and cover their positions. But Wednesday, that's yesterday, some banks were forced to borrow from the CBN as overnight lending rates rose from 200% to around 300%, following a mop-up of Naira liquidity in the banking system. Nigeria's Debt Management Office says it raised 105.32 billion naira from bond sales this week through a domestic bond auction that happened on Wednesday. But according to the DMO, the sale is 29.7 billion naira less than the amount it originally planned to raise. Traders say investors demanded higher yields of up to 17.55% on the notes, but the debt office offered the bonds at yields below 17%. Nigeria's stock market recorded its second consecutive marginal increase today. This is in reaction to bargain hunting by investors after 2 previous negative sessions earlier this week. To give us details on this is BC Adebayo.
The NSE All-Share Index ended Thursday's session and the last trading day for the week up by 0.05%, its second positive performance before the Easter break. 18 gainers on the price table consisted mostly small and mid-cap equities, led in the top 3 category by CNI Leeson, National Salt Company of Nigeria and Transcorp. Union Daikin and ICO Group and 40 Oil emerged as the 3 most significant losers from among 11 decliners. Compared with Wednesday's session, today's turnover was higher by over 100,000 units as investors sold 349.27 million shares for over 2.27 billion naira in 2,826 deals. The major contributor to the market's overall volume was Fidelity Bank with over 112.26 million shares. And that's it on the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Thank you, BC. As financial markets around the world close for the Easter holiday, Wall Street and European bourses ended in the red. That's after the U.S. military dropped its largest non-nuclear bomb in Afghanistan. Here's a closer picture of the markets today. Thanks a lot for watching Business News tonight. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Ijoma will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. More healthcare innovators are needed to provide sustainable solutions to preventable and treatable diseases that take the lives of Nigerians, mostly women and children. At the closeout ceremony of the Health Innovation Development Accelerator Program, organized by the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria, the co-chair of the alliance, Mr. Jim Ovia, said with effective health interventions, millions of lives will be saved.
In 2015, the Nigeria Health Innovation Marketplace, put together by the Private Health Sector Alliance of Nigeria, PHN, conducted an in-country health innovation challenge to identify, reward and support promising innovations that will help in addressing key challenges in the country's health sector.
Our innovation is called e-Heal, which is electronic health education in any language.
With financial support from PHN to some of the innovators, various health intervention products and services have come into existence.
If you look at many other African countries that have been able to hit their health goals, they've been able to do that by spurring thousands of innovations. Product innovations, process innovations, market innovations. Most of these countries had a marketplace where they connected innovators with investors, where they helped to identify, spur, and scale up promising innovations.
It's now time to give out certificates to some of the innovators who have gone through the PHN Health Innovation Development Accelerator Program, a program which is to ensure that they are equipped with necessary tools to build sustainable businesses that will benefit Nigeria's health sector.
In the area of malnutrition, in the area of diarrhea, in the area of pneumonia, in the area of malaria preventions. In 2016, about 350,000 lives were actually saved. And in a year, if this number continues to be saved in a year, in the next 3 years, we'll also save another 1 million lives again. And these are mostly infants that before now, such statistics and such numbers, many of them would have died.
We will continue to work with them to ensure that they scale up these interventions through the mentorship that we continue to provide, the technical supports that they get, and connecting them with potential investors that can fund that scale up.
The Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria, established to complement efforts of the federal government in the health sector, is led by Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Mr. Jim Ovia, Dr. Muhammad Ali Party, Mr. Aigboje Ag Imokwode, Mrs. Shola David Boha, and other corporate business leaders in Nigeria.
The efforts by the Bayelsa state government towards transforming the state's education sector has received the backing of the Nigerian Union of Bayelsa State Students. The leadership of the union, during a visit to the state governor, said the enforcement of the Education Development Trust Fund tax is a step in the right direction. The policy requires the residents of the state to make remittances into the trust fund, which the government believes will aid in sustaining its massive investments in the sector.
The signing into law of the Higher Education Student Loan Bill and Education Development Trust Fund Bill by Governor Seriake Dixon a few weeks ago certainly did raise some controversy amongst Bayelsans, as most persons were vehemently against it. Even though a large number of the state civil servants who are expected to also pay into the trust fund are yet to give their nod of approval, the executive members of the Nigerian Union of Bayelsa State Students have assured the governor that they are in full support.
The Education Trust Fund law is highly commendable, and as students, our role is also to ensure that our colleagues are well oriented and sensitized on the importance of that trust fund law, as well as our parents.
Governor Dixon is pleased and encourages them to make other Bayelsans aware of the importance of the trust fund.
The student community is critical for the success, first, of the dissemination of the policies of our government in the area of education. But I was very, very struck when you offered to partner with the government to sensitize our people, not just students, but to sensitize our people on the far-reaching consequences of most of the policies we have come up with, especially the two laws, very significant laws, that were passed by the Assembly, which I wasted no time in signing into law.
Having gotten their support, the governor informs them of the investment his administration has made to improve the quality of service delivery in education and the health sector.
No state has the type of publicly funded, publicly conceived and developed secondary schools with modern facilities and equipment. No state has schools that are better than us.
Even though these students have clearly shown their support to the setup of the trust fund, organized labor are yet to agree to be a part of the persons funding the trust fund, as they believe it will amount to double taxation of all public service workers.
Still ahead on the news at 10, former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi sells one of Italy's most successful clubs, AC Milan, to Chinese consortium. That's on sports. To stay with us.